Reddit fresh.
Am I the idiot for not letting my boyfriend watch his favorite TV show during our date night even though it's related to a personal issue he's dealing with? My boyfriend, male 25, and I, female 24, have a weekly date night where we cook dinner and watch a movie or TV show. Recently, my boyfriend has been going through a tough time dealing with his anxiety, and he's been using his favorite TV show as a way to cope. Last Friday, I suggested that we watch a romantic movie instead of his show, but he insisted that we watch it because it helps him relax. However, I wasn't in the mood for it and wanted to watch something different. He got upset and revealed to me that the show was a comforting escape for him during his panic attacks and that he really needed it at the moment. I didn't know how to react because I didn't want to invalidate his feelings, but I also didn't want to give up our date night tradition. He accused me of being selfish and not understanding his mental health struggles, but I felt like he was using his personal issue to guilt me into watching something I wasn't interested in. Now I'm torn between wanting to support him and needing our date night to be enjoyable for both of us. So, Reddit, am I the idiot for not letting my boyfriend watch his favorite TV show during our date night, even though it's related to a personal issue he's dealing with? No idiots here. He has the right to his comfort show, but you also have the right to not enjoy it. I feel like there's definitely a compromise you could both make if you just had an honest conversation about the situation. Also, out of curiosity, what's the TV show he's so reliant on? Not the idiot, it does not sound like he was in the middle of a panic attack, and it does indeed sound like he's using his mental health as an excuse to not compromise on what to watch, which is very asshole-is. It's date night and the two of you can surely find something enjoyable for both of you to watch now. For the next story. Am I the idiot for continuing to sleep nude despite my neighbors being able to see into my bedroom? So, I'm a 28-year-old dude and have been living in my house for a few years now. One of the main reasons I chose this place was because my bedroom faced east, allowing me to wake up to the morning sunlight. Most mornings I wake up before my alarm goes off just because the sunlight coming through the window wakes me up. There used to be a tree line that provided a natural barrier between my house and any potential neighbors, so I never saw the need for curtains or blinds. They are expensive as hell for the nice ones. Recently, my neighborhood expanded and most of the tree line my bedroom was facing was cut down to build new houses. So boom, then there's a house that was built right across from mine, and their window has a clear view into my bedroom. I've always been comfortable sleeping nude, and it wasn't an issue when there were no neighbors around. But not long after the people moved in, the father from the house came over to my house and pretty much told me to stop being nude in front of my windows since his family can see inside my bedroom. He wasn't nice about it. But he didn't mean either, just matter-of-factly, like he gave me an order and fully expected it to be done like I was his kid or his employee. I was somewhat surprised, but understood his concern, so I made an effort to be more mindful of my nudity when in view of the window. I stopped cleaning and making my bed before getting dressed. I'd hop out of bed, walk into my closet, and at least put on shorts, then go about my morning chores. That being said, I still sleep nude, and I occasionally end up being visible to the neighbors for a brief moment after waking up. The father came over again, leading to an argument between us. I told him I was trying my best to be considerate, but there's only so much I can do and that it's my house and I'm not changing my lifestyle because they moved in. He threatened to call the police and said I was being a menace to the neighborhood, whatever the hell that means. So, am I the idiot for continuing to sleep nude even though my neighbors can see into my bedroom? You're the idiot. I'm sure you can solve this problem so you don't flash your neighbors. You act like there's no middle ground here when there clearly is. Sheer curtains, window film, etc. You're the idiot. Time to buy some curtains. And the menace to the neighborhood thing, since you've been informed that your new neighbors, including children, can see into your windows, by continuing to not put curtains up and be naked in front of them, you're kinda knowingly exposing yourself to uncommenting parties, including minors. Not a good look. Get curtains. Now, for the next story. Would I be the idiot if I started forcing my teen son to go to the bathroom before his sister has a bath? My daughter, 13, has severe endometriosis, to the point where she has been given morphine in the hospital. One thing that really helps her is hot baths, burning hot, to the point where she's pink when she finally climbs out. She will sit in there for hours some days, but is happy to get out for us to use the bathroom once the pain has eased off some. My son, 15, has ADHD and is bad at grasping his own bodily needs until the last minute. Every time she asks to get in the bath, I run by him and ask if he needs the toilet, at which point he says no. Then, every single time, he will bang on the toilet door because he's desperate for the toilet. My daughter struggles to get in and out of the bath for the first hour while she's calming down, trying to relax herself. This leads to one of two situations. She drags herself out, sobbing, and then he cries because he feels bad, or he ends up peeing in the yard. Or the kitchen sink. Which? I don't like it, per se. Or the one time where I yelled at him over it and he wet himself through holding it too long, which was even worse for my daughter as she had to wait longer then. I feel bad for both of them, but even the wet pants issue isn't enough to get him to pay more attention. The last couple of times I've tried to force him to go to the bathroom and he's gotten angry because he's not a little kid. I get it, his teachers and things treat him incapable because of his bathroom issues, but it's still not fair for him to continue disrupting his sister or pissing down my drains and in my plants. I feel like an idiot regardless, but would physically forcing him through threats put me in that category indefinitely? No idiots here. If you only have the one bathroom and your daughter needs to use the bathtub for several hours, then you need to come up with an alternate bathroom in case of emergencies. A family friend had a similar issue in her household and bought a portable convalescent toilet that could be set up in a room and then emptied in the regular toilet at a later time. Not everyone can plan/predict when they need the bathroom. Not the idiot. Your son has to learn to manage his ADHD issues. Going to the bathroom before your daughter takes a bath is an easy thing he can do to help cope with his condition. It doesn't matter if he thinks it's childish, he has to learn to cope. I'm not sure how he thinks his day-to-day life is going to go if he never learns how to manage his bladder. There's going to be loads of situations where he's not going to have immediate access to a restroom. He has to learn to cope and take steps to address this issue. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for refusing to babysit my sister's kids? My 24, female, sister, 29, female, is in a tight spot. She has two kids, Ashley 6 and Matt 4. Her husband passed away in a work-related accident. I won't go into much detail, but she got quite some money for his life insurance and there's some other legal issues going on and maybe she'll get more money out of it. Prior to the accident, she was a stay-at-home mom, but now, for obvious reasons, she needs to get a job. I don't have a regular job, so I'm free most days. Well, she asked me to babysit for her kids during the days. She said she'll pay me whatever I want. She said she found something that will pay her well and she'll be able to keep their house and lifestyle and save the other money for her kids' future/emergencies. I told her that I don't want to be a babysitter and to ask someone else. She told me that no one else can because her in-laws live in another state, our brother and sister-in-law work too, and both our parents also have jobs. Basically, I'm the only one who's free during the day. I told her in that case she should send them to daycare, but she said that the kids aren't that well since the accident and she would prefer if they can be babysat for the family, at least for a couple months until they can get used to the idea of losing their dad. Lastly, she told me if I could at least babysit for her in the morning, then our mom agreed to cut some hours so she can babysit during the afternoon. I told her that what they're going through is very sad, but I stood my ground about not babysitting. That's simply not what I want now. I told her that was the final answer and to stop calling me over that because I won't change my mind. She cried and called me an idiot. She went on and on about how hard her life is and such. She said that her kids cry all the time because of their dad and they need family now and how I should help her when I can. I told her that her kids are not my responsibility. She can ask, but I already said no, so she should drop it. Now everyone in my family is angry at me. Am I the idiot? Edit. I am free most days because I work some nights. I don't work full time. However, that's not relevant. I don't pull all-nighters. I get home quite early. My job is not the reason I don't want to babysit. The reason why I don't want to help her is simply because I don't want to. I could babysit if I wanted to, but I don't. You're the idiot. She's trying to get back on her feet after she and the kids lost a husband/father. Would it kill you to watch the kids for a while until they are well enough to go to daycare? Don't expect her to help you out in the future when you're struggling. Not the idiot. As a parent, I would not want to leave my children in the care of someone who clearly doesn't want to care for them. Some people aren't suited to care for children and know it. If the sibling can afford to pay whatever you want, why can't they hire a professional to care for the children in their home? I'd much rather have a good sitter/nanny than a family any day, especially if the family is not interested. Hate to bring sex/gender into things, but if OP were a brother who didn't want to babysit, would this level of pressure still be placed on them? Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my youngest daughter that she either has to give up her room or keep her cat in her room at night? Some backstory: whenever my mother-in-law visits, my wife always insists that one of the kids give up their room for her. It's usually my oldest, 17, or youngest, 14, for a couple reasons, but this time my wife decided that our middle daughter, 16, will be giving up her room no matter what. My youngest also has a cat that my middle daughter is scared of. My wife recently told the kids that my mother-in-law is coming to stay with us for 6 weeks and announced that it's our middle daughter's turn to give up her room. My middle daughter complained, but I talked to her about it and tried to come up with a compromise, and I tried to get my wife to agree that one of our older kids' rooms would be better for a few reasons. First, our middle daughter's room is not near a bathroom. Mother-in-law gets up multiple times at night, and she just hurt her ankle. Second, the middle daughter's room is big enough that we could put an air mattress for one of the other kids. Our oldest daughter's room isn't big enough for that, and our youngest daughter has a cat that is afraid of the middle, so she can't sleep in there. There's also the issue that I strongly think our middle daughter might be autistic and any change in routine is hard for her. Then I said that if our middle daughter sleeps on the couch, our youngest daughter has to keep the cat in her room at night. My youngest daughter refused because the cat will wake her up and want to play, but I told her it's fair for the middle to not want the cat harassing her while she sleeps, and that she either keeps the cat in her room or she gives Milk her room. My wife and youngest are saying this is unfair, and I'm just trying to get middle out of giving up her room, but I truly think this is a fair compromise. Middle will give up her room as long as the cat is away from her at night. I told middle if they keep the cat out at night, I will take her to sleep at my parents' house every night until my mother-in-law leaves, but my wife is refusing that too because her mom is already upset that middle likes my parents better. My parents have lived a half-mile from her until she was born, mother-in-law lives across the country, and that this will make her think middle is sleeping there to get away from her. Am I the idiot for saying either my youngest gives up her room, keeps the cat in her room, or my middle son sleeps at my parents' house while my mother-in-law is here? You're the idiot. This isn't okay, and the solutions are all going to negatively impact your kids. If mother-in-law is definitely staying for that long, I vote that you and your wife are on an air mattress in the living room the whole time and mother-in-law uses your room. If your wife thinks it's so important that her mom has a room, and you aren't willing/able to have a say in that, the two adults in the household absolutely need to inconvenience themselves and leave the kids out of it. Everyone sucks here. Both you and your wife is AHs for displacing your children for 6 weeks to accommodate an adult. This is completely unreasonable, and it is going to harm your kids. They are going to struggle with schoolwork, sleep, and a major change in routine. Both of you suck for allowing this. Your mother-in-law sucks for forcing herself on you for such an unreasonably long period of time. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not wanting to take my wife's photos? My wife and I have been married for 1 year, and we've been together for about 7. An argument that recurs frequently, especially when we're on vacation, centers around her desire to take multiple photos, and my absolute disdain for being the person who has to take all of them. Here's how it typically plays out. We visit a new place. She immediately asks me to take her picture. I oblige, but then she berates me if the picture is ugly or if she thinks I made little attempt to take a good picture. So then I have to take another photo. She reviews, and the process repeats until she's satisfied. Personally, I've never been big on taking photos while on vacation, and I have not traveled a lot internationally. I like to be in the moment, take in the whole sight, and get lost in my thoughts. However, I feel like I have to interrupt this experience multiple times to take her pictures or get into a selfie with her, then I lose out on the experience because all of a sudden a photo takes precedence. In the past, I've snapped a quick picture with little effort to get back to what I was there to do, experience something new. After getting called out multiple times for my low effort, I now attempt to take a good picture or at least listen to her instructions so that I get the picture to her liking. But recently, she's called my pictures ugly even when I've made an attempt to take good photos. This results in me taking dozens of pictures in the same place, of the same person, with the same backdrop, until she is satisfied or until I lose patience and tell her I'm done. Moreover, she's even gotten upset with me for posting a picture of her to social media that she didn't like, even though I actually thought the picture looked good. My wife is naturally gorgeous, physically, but I don't need a good picture to show that. I'd like to consider myself creative, and sometimes I just like a good candid picture of her eating an ice cream or fixing her glasses. But let me unwittingly share said photo on social media, and a whole argument ensues. I think the whole situation is stupid. IMO photographs are an afterthought, a tool, not the main objective. I want to see new things and experience new people. I have little desire to take pictures beyond what I need to remember the moment or to capture something aesthetically pleasing. I know it's reasonable to want pictures of yourself, but at some point the whole exercise becomes excessive. That point is when the pictures begin to distract from the whole purpose we're there, to see and experience something new. My wife and I are currently in Italy, sitting silently in a hotel room because I objected to her 20th-something selfie in front of the Colosseum. It's raining and I wanted to move to the next site. We had already taken many photos together in front of the Colosseum. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. My wife used to do this. Our compromise on this is I will take photos constantly for about 20 seconds. If she doesn't like any of them, I will do it once more. I will not do it a third time. She usually gets a good number and can pick one she likes. Everyone sucks here. I recently searched through our family photos to find pictures of the grandparents for a sibling's wedding memorial table. I found a ton of the grandfathers and almost none of the grandmothers, because the grandmothers were always the ones taking the photos. It was a gendered thing because for some reason the men in the family never thought pictures were important, but the women did. Take pictures of your wife so that she is included in the memories when your grandchildren look back through the photo albums. But she should be doing the same for you.